The feeling of isolation, the need to escape, the stress and anxiety of the pandemic, it all created the perfect sad conditions for those already suffering from drug addiction to fall deeper in debt to their demons. According to the CDC, by June 2020, 13% of Americans reported that they increased or began substance abuse as a means to cope with the stress of the pandemic. The Overdose Detection Mapping Application Program reported that there was an 18% increase in reported drug overdoses nationwide in the early months of the pandemic. Many impoverished Black communities were suffering through a drug problem before the pandemic. So how were these communities affected by the surge, and how will they rebound from it? Joining us to discuss drug addiction through the pandemic is Chair of the Department of Psychology at Columbia University, Dr. Carl Hart. Dr. Hart, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
As I stated in the open, 13% of Americans started or increased drug usage during the pandemic. What does this mean overall? Is that, would people expect an uptick in drug usage, or is this kind of surprising or shocking in any way?
Well, you can expect, I guess, an uptake or increase in drug use. But in terms of drug addiction, it would be a mistake to think that the pandemic itself caused drug addiction. The pandemic what we can predict, will hide the real causes of drug addiction. Drug addiction is primarily due to things like co-occurring psychiatric illnesses. We can think about people losing their jobs, losing their self-worth. All of those sort of reasons are why people become addicted to drugs. But oftentimes we scapegoat drugs, or we scapegoat various things instead of focusing on what the real issues are.
So those real issues, loss of job, unsettling of home life, those things were exacerbated disproportionately for Black communities during the pandemic. Do we have any insight on whether or not the Black community tracks with this national number, or if it's more or less than what the national numbers show?
At the moment, we don't. Black people currently suffer drug addiction proportionally to their numbers in the society. Although what we can expect, though, is that just like in the larger, wider U.S. community, we will see people suffering. They will have some drug-related problems, but we have to be careful not to blame the drugs, and we have to make sure that we look at the real reasons, like loss of jobs, PTSD, co-occurring other psychiatric illnesses, pain issues. We have to make sure that we don't get lazy and stop and blame the drugs.
So, are there any, in all of the kind of added relief efforts that the Biden administration has been pitching, both, the two stimulus packages and now this new plan, are there any things in it that directly go to dealing with this issue of drug addiction and its surge in drug addiction? Or are people going to be left to fend on their own with the tools they had before the pandemic started?
We will have some superficial sort of programs or nods to drug addiction, but it's really important for people to understand. If you don't have things in those sort of packages that ensure that people get jobs that can pay a middle class living, if there are not things like that in those packages, you can forget about it. It's only cosmetics. We can also think about drug-related overdoses. We think about why people die from overdoses, apart from something like suicide. People die from drug-related overdoses because they don't know what's in their substances. But we have techniques to deal with that sort of thing. We have these things called drug purity testing services that we have in countries outside of the U.S., but we haven't implemented those things in communities in the United States. And so when we start to see what packages the current administration has to address these issues, if these packages does not include gainful employment, these sort of drug purity testing services, it is nothing but superficial window dressing.
We're seeing all sorts of kind of psychological issues spilling out into the streets. Not only is drugs surging, but violent crime is also surging, kind of in tandem with the pandemic or coming out of the pandemic. Do you see these as connected issues or completely separate issues?
Well, you know, what I see is that we have on the news, we have a select sort of showing of various violent crimes. We certainly have that. But in terms of the numbers, I haven't seen the numbers. But when we try to connect it to something like drugs, that would be a mistake. What we know is that there are a number of people in the United States who are suffering psychological problems and so forth. And when you have those kind of issues, you can expect problems. But if we're thinking about drugs in that equations, we've already missed the boat. People are suffering far more from mental illnesses that need to be dealt with.
Part of the move to defund the police was to shift money into things like drug intervention services and having counselors and other social workers to show up for people who were in distress around drugs. Because of the violent crime surge, many of the municipalities that had at least been considering it are now backpedaling and saying, no, we actually need more money directly in police departments in order to deal with the surge in crime. Do you worry that there will become a backlash against drug usage, also crime happening in cities, and that will just create an environment where people get fewer services rather than more services, and therefore leave more people vulnerable?
Yeah, absolutely. You hit it on the head. And I am not advocating that we put more money into treatment per se, because if you have a treatment and you don't have jobs for people, you're still going to have those problems. And so it's really important for people to understand that jobs are number one. People's mental health is really important, and their mental health are oftentimes attached to their ability to have gainful employment. And we oftentimes overlook this. And so this is not I am not advocating for more money in police, but I think that's one of the reasons we are having this sort of selective sort of presentation of violence on our TV news in an effort to also support our police. But so that's why I want to be careful about this reported uptick in violence. I like to see the actual data and go through the data and not just those sort of images. So we have to be careful not to shift money into more policing, not to shift money into drug treatment without jobs for the people who are suffering, because it's the same. It's one and the same, just different people getting the pot of money that should be going to the people.
Dr. Hart, I really appreciate your perspective on this tonight. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
More crime after the break.